Wrong shoes.
Hey, Nick, you were on the sideline that blowout in November. What was that like? What do you remember about it?
Oh yeah, I mean when we played the Saints the first go around, I mean it was definitely a tough loss. I thought that, going into that game, when we look back, I thought that they executed well, and there was times where, we didn't do a great job as a team. But I think when we look back, we learned a lot about ourselves then. I talked about the other day, there's never once where we pointed a finger at one another. We continue to gain strength. We continue to believe in one another and trust one another throughout that process. Even in a game like that didn't go our way, our team stuck together, and I think that tells you a lot about the people that work here.
Nick, why do you think nobody points fingers here?
I mean, it's really about trust. It's about relationships. Everyone wants to know the secret of a great team, and everyone wants to make it about rah-rah and X's and O's and all that stuff. And from my experience, it's the team that has the best relationships, the team that trusts each other the most, are the teams that are usually successful. There are some anomalies out there, but the teams I've been a part of, you go into that locker room, it's a cohesive group that genuinely cares about one another. And my philosophy always is, in the fourth quarter, when the game's on the line, when you trust the men next to you, you're going to get it done more times than not. And, I think this team's a testament to that.
Nick, can you appreciate the fact that you and Drew Brees, two products of Westlake High School from back in Austin, Texas, are both going to be guys going into this NFC final?
Yeah, I mean, Drew and I both went to Westlake High School. There's a lot of, great athletes that, went to Westlake High School. I know him and I both, think highly of the school, and, growing up and being a part of the football program, being a part of the basketball program, just going to school there, getting the education, we'll always be a chaparral for life. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people in Austin watching this game.
He set a lot of records back in, I know you guys were 10 years apart.
Yep.
But you then broke all those records. What was your perception of him 10 years later as the quarterback for Westlake?
Yeah, I mean, he was always someone, being from Westlake, knowing who he was as a little kid. I can't say I remembered watching him play, at Westlake. I was probably running around, playing tag if I was at a game, just, throwing a little football. But, watching him at Purdue throughout his career in the NFL, I feel, Drew's a Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks ever. But the thing that's always impressed me is, who he is as a person and what he represents and how he impacts the community, how he's impacted the community of New Orleans and made it his home is more impressive than anything he's done on the field. So he's a great role model to everyone.
Nick, it seems like
Where do you think went last time you guys were in New Orleans? And I know you didn't start that game, but do you feel like that's adding a little more fuel for you guys this week, or have you guys completely flushed that out? Because a lot of guys have said that, there's a little extra motivation.
I think that that game has, helped us become the team we are today. Going through that's not easy as a team to lose like that, but it's like I said, there's never pointing of fingers. It actually brought us closer. It can separate a team or it can bring a team closer, and it brought us closer. And, at this point in the year, you don't really need any more fuel. We're out here ready to roll. We're working hard. But, we're definitely excited to compete against the Saints. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They're a well-rounded team. They play well all three phases of football. They do a great job. They're well coached. They have great players. So it's going to be a great challenge for us.
It seems like recently the offensive line in front of you has been playing really well. How much credit do you give them for your success recently?
I mean, they've done a great job this whole season. I mean, they're the best group I've ever been around. I mean, they, as a group that, can communicate and play well with one another, they're the best, and our offense runs off of them. I mean, if they're blocking, they're doing their job. It helps us. They're the key to our offense, and I can't say enough. The last couple of years, when I've been here, we're fortunate to have a great group of guys up front that, are the best in the game.
When you look at the tape, after watching the tape, what do you think needs to happen early Sunday to make sure that it doesn't go on the downward spiral that happened in November?
I think first off, don't worry about what happened. You learn from it, but you can't dwell on that going this game. It's a new game, and it's really just my philosophy: play one play at a time. Stay in the moment. That's it. I can't go out there and worry about scoring 100 points. You can only score 6. and then you can choose to go for 2 or you can kick the extra point. And that's my philosophy, because there's a lot of times as a younger player or anyone, you go into games against a team that's been very successful. You're like, man, I got to score X amount of points. And that's not the case. Just go play the game, play the play. Each game is a new entity. You don't do this game alone. We have our defense that's going to be ready to roll, our special teams, our offense. So we're going to go play great team Philadelphia football, and that's all we can do, one play at a time.
When you watch film of the Saints defense, I guess in particular the last game, how much has Carson helped out? How much has he chimed in since he had already played them?
I think the big thing is just, the matchups, understanding, what he was seeing during the game, just the way he played the game, what he felt. I mean, a lot of it's matchups, watching their defenders, what he thinks they did well, what he saw when he played. That's the big thing.
What's clicked for you guys on 3rd and 4th downs? Because the numbers are off the charts.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers. I know I've been asked that question a few times. I think it goes back to those downs are, obviously our coaches put us in great position to, execute a play versus a defense that, we're wanting to see. But then it's us as players being on the same page and trusting one another. It's everything from, making sure we get the protection right, making sure everyone understands their route, recognizes the coverage, adjusts their coverage to the route. I'm on the same page as the receivers, and that's where it's relationships, communication, and actually trusting one another. It'll always be that way as long as I play the game. That's what I've seen, and that's the key to 3rd and 4th down.
Nick, you're getting rid of the ball kind of quicker than you ever have at any time in your career. What do you attribute that to?
Just playing ball. I mean, there's nothing. I don't go into a game saying I'm going to. I wish I could tell you what's going to happen before it happens. That's why we play the game. You never know. That's just sort of the way it's been. I've been able to get the ball out quick at times, been able to hold it at other times. I think the big thing is we're just playing the game. We're playing the game in the moment. We're playing the game one play at a time, and that's allowed us, when we've gone through adversity, to sort of, get back together, talk about it, and go back out there and play the play. And sometimes, getting a quick completion helps the rhythm to the offense.
Nick, you mentioned the trust factor, but how do you get that? Is it just a matter of getting the right mix of players in here, or is that kind of a culture that's established by God?
I think it's a culture that's established from top down, and then it's a culture that also is established, but it's everything. But when it's the players, it's the guys in the locker room, it's sort of putting your ego in check and just being a guy. No one here is better than anyone else. We're all just here together trying to accomplish a common goal. But it's definitely top down, starting from Mr. Lurie to Doug to Howie, to all the players buying in. And like I said, if you go around the locker room, or you're in pregame, or you're in the locker room pregame or after the game, like, you see guys that genuinely care about everyone. And then when you're around this facility, it's everyone at the facility, not just the players. It takes every single person here doing the job to the best of their ability and caring about the person next to them to excel. And that's really what's gotten us going this year, is everyone in this building.
When you remember when you saw the Saints defensively back in November to now, what's changed or what's better about them?
They're great defense. They play well on all sides of the ball. They're going to mix up their coverages, man and zone, but they're running their thing. Their coach is going to call their defense. I'm sure they'll have a couple schemed up things for us, but they play fast. They understand what they're doing. They understand their assignments, and they play fast. And anytime you do that at this level and you understand what you're doing, you're going to probably be pretty good.
Nick, we talked a little bit about starting fast this game. Obviously, this is not a team you want to play from behind against. When you get a game on the road, kind of like this past Sunday, you get that first drive going, even though it was only a field goal. But is there a tangible feeling that you're setting the tempo for the game when that kind of stuff happens early?
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime first drive, no matter what, you want to get points. You want to move the ball. You want to get some first downs. You obviously want to score a touchdown, but I think anytime early on in the game you can move the ball, you can execute, that's huge for the rhythm of a game.
And how is it easy to kind of block out like all the talk going on around, just how well you're playing, what it might mean for the future, et cetera?
Yeah, I don't worry about it. I've told y'all before, like the future, that'll take care of itself. If I worried about that right now, I wouldn't be able to, really focus in and enjoy the present. There's plenty of things to focus on right now, preparing for the Saints and, just getting the body, mind, and everything ready for this game. So I'm just focused on being here, being the best teammate I can be, and preparing for this Sunday's game.
Do you remember about the last time you played the Saints in the playoffs, that game when you left the league?
I mean, last time I played them was 2014. I think a lot of the same questions about me and Drew. Westlake, playing against him then, I was a younger player, and it was, something that was really special, growing up and getting to play against someone you looked up to. And he's a guy I still do. I think he does things right. But, lots happened since then. I mean, life's happened. So definitely a different player. That was a learning experience for me, carried into the playoffs last year. I mean, anytime you experience something like playing in the playoffs, you can use that as you go forward. But that was my first real taste of it, and unfortunately, we lost that game. They got the better of us, so we're working towards a better outcome right now.
So because you won a Super Bowl, as many Super Bowls as him, you don't maybe look at him as much in awe because
that was a nice try, but no, I think he's.
My point is it different?
No, I think. No, I think
in the last 5
that
years.
just getting to know him through the years more so, whether we were at the Pro Bowl together or just running into him in different areas, getting to know him more as a person, that changes things. It's like you can look up to someone and maybe they're a celebrity, but then you get to know them as a person and you realize they're just people. We're all just people. We all have our similar flaws, our similar things, but we're just people. And I think just getting to know him and then watching him, and I appreciate everything, watching him on film, how he continues to just get better and better and better. And that's something I respect, but I think the big thing is I've just gotten to know him better throughout the years.
With the momentum, Jason Kelsey said that as Cody Parkey was running up for the last kick, he wanted to make sure he walked over to you and said thank you in case this is the last time. What did that mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm not worried about the future, but I understand where I stand. And every time I wear that jersey, it's special, and get to play with guys like Jason, that's special. I've been fortunate to play with the best center in the game. I think the world of him. He does, the whole line's amazing. So I remember, I'll never forget that. And, fortunately we got we tipped the field goal, and, it didn't go in, which is a huge play by Hester. But we get one more week together at least.
Is the momentum, with the momentum building the way it is, and you're on the cover of Sports Illustrated again, is it starting to feel like last year to you?
No, it's a different year. It's been a different situation, a different scenario. I really just, my mind doesn't have enough energy to go there and think about all those. My mind has enough energy to just focus on the task at hand and stay here and just get ready for this game. If y'all analyze the season, it's been a different kind of season. Different team, but it's a special group. That's the thing that they both have in common. It's really good people that care for one another, and it's a special group. And, I'm looking forward to at least one more week with them.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.